In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable wheat pennies you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. Our first coin today is a coin that has sparked the interest of collectors for decades, the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny. While this particular coin is in circulated condition, it holds a unique spot in American numismatic history, and its value on the auction market has only increased in recent years. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck during a time of significant change in the United States. The country was fresh off the heels of World War I, which had concluded 2 years earlier, and was now entering the Roaring Twenties, an era marked by economic prosperity, rapid industrialization, and cultural change. The 1920s saw the rise of consumerism, the proliferation of new technologies, and the beginning of the Great Depression toward the end of the decade. In terms of coinage, the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny was an integral part of the nation's monetary system, used for everyday transactions. However, the 1920s marked the end of an era in U.S. coinage, as the Lincoln Wheat Pennies were eventually phased out in favor of the Lincoln Memorial Penny in 1959. The design of the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny closely mirrors that of the 1945 version we discussed earlier, with a few important differences. As with all Lincoln pennies from this period, the obverse features the left-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, flanked by the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Below the portrait, you'll find the date 1920. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck in large numbers, with a total mintage of over 200 million coins. These pennies were circulated widely during the 1920s, and even today, they are relatively common to find in various conditions. However, certain factors, such as condition, demand, and the rarity of specific variants, play a key role in determining the value of a 1920 penny. In circulated condition, a 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny typically has a market value of around $99,300, although prices can vary. If the coin is in particularly good condition, its value can climb higher. Coins in higher grades, such as extra fine or uncirculated, can fetch significantly more, often exceeding $100,000 at auction. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny is known for its occasional errors and variations, which increase its value in the market. One notable example is the 1920 S penny, which was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Although this video focuses on the Philadelphia minted version without a mint mark, collectors often seek out specific varieties with minor errors, such as double dies or misstrikes. These errors can significantly increase the value of the coin, especially among advanced collectors. Despite being produced in large numbers, the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds enduring appeal due to its age, design, and the historical context in which it was minted. As such, it remains a highly sought-after piece among collectors, especially for those looking to complete a set of Lincoln Wheat Pennies. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, in circulated condition, is a coin that not only holds value in today's market, but also carries historical significance. While it may not be the rarest penny in the Lincoln series, its connection to the post-World War I era and its status as a staple of American coinage makes it a coveted item for collectors. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a newcomer to the hobby, understanding the appeal of these coins and their potential value can help you make an informed decision when buying or selling. Next up, the 1918 Abraham Lincoln Wheat cent holds a special place in the history of American numismatics. Struck during the final years of World War I, the coin is a reflection of both the economic conditions and the political climate of the era. At this time, the United States had just entered the war, and the country was grappling with the effects of wartime inflation and economic strain. This was also a time when coinage was becoming more heavily influenced by the nation's sense of patriotism and national identity. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design featured a portrait of President Lincoln on the obverse, which was created by the renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the coin displayed 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. The wheat cent was designed to be a symbol of American unity, industrialism, and agricultural pride. In 1918, the coin was part of a series that had already been in circulation for almost a decade. But the national situation had changed since the early years of the series. The economic impact of the war, combined with rising inflation, made coinage production more important than ever. The 1918 wheat cent was minted in large quantities at the Philadelphia Mint, with the coin featuring no mint mark. The lack of a mint mark is significant because it indicates the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, where the majority of coins were produced during this time. The 1918 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark was produced in a substantial quantity, making it relatively common when compared to rarer coins from the series. The mintage of this coin was 309,446,000, which means that it was mass-produced for circulation. Despite this high mintage, the coin's value has risen significantly in today's market, especially for examples in higher grades. In circulated condition, the 1918 wheat cent typically trades at a modest value of around $68,000. However, as the coin increases in grade, so does its value. In the higher circulated grades, such as very fine or extremely fine, it can reach prices of $75,000 or more, depending on its condition and eye appeal. For a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, values can skyrocket into the thousands of dollars, particularly if it is graded by a reputable service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or professional coin grading service. However, the real value for collectors lies in finding a well-preserved, high-grade example of this coin. Coins in fine or good condition still hold their value, but those in extremely fine and higher grades have the potential to reach several $100s, and the most valuable specimens can fetch upwards of $500 or more in auction settings. The design of the 1918 wheat cent is iconic, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse. Brenner's design captures Lincoln in a dignified manner, showcasing the 16th president's strong character. The reverse features two stalks of wheat, which were meant to symbolize the strength of America's agricultural economy. This imagery resonates with many collectors who are interested not only in the coin's monetary value, but also its historical significance. The coin is beloved by collectors due to its connection to a pivotal time in American history. Many collectors of the Lincoln wheat cent series are drawn to the 1918 coin because it represents a key year in the Lincoln series during the height of World War I. The simplicity of the coin's design also adds to its appeal. While the coin may not feature as many intricate designs or errors as some other coins in the series, it is still highly prized for its historical importance and relatively high availability in lower grades. The 1918 wheat cent also remains popular among collectors because it is a part of the broader Lincoln cent series, which is one of the most collected coin series in the world. There are numerous variations and mint marks within this series, making each year an exciting opportunity for collectors to add a significant coin to their collection. The 1918 coin is particularly sought after by those who are building a comprehensive collection of Lincoln wheat cents or focusing on key dates and varieties. While the 1918 Lincoln wheat cent is a relatively common coin, collectors may also be interested in potential errors. A few rare die errors from this period include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned die strikes. However, the most common version of the 1918 wheat cent does not carry any significant errors, making it a standard coin in the series. Nonetheless, certain varieties of this coin, such as those with unique characteristics or found in particularly rare conditions, can drive the price higher. For example, if a 1918 coin shows significant wear or unusual toning, it may garner more attention from special art. Next up, the 1934 Lincoln wheat cent is one of the later coins in the wheat series, struck during the Great Depression, a time of significant economic hardship in the United States. This period marked a dramatic shift in American life, as millions of Americans faced unemployment, poverty, and social instability. The effects of the Great Depression were felt across all sectors of society, and the government began taking measures to address the economic crisis. This coin was minted at the height of these struggles and provides a snapshot of the country's financial difficulties during that time. The 1934 coin is part of a larger series of Lincoln wheat cents that ran from 1909 to 1958, with design changes introduced in the 1940s. The Lincoln wheat cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, has become a beloved symbol of American coinage. While the 1934 coin did not see any major design changes, its production coincided with a significant period in U.S. history. The 1934 coin was struck in relatively large quantities, with a total mintage of over 316 million. Like many other coins of the period, the 1934 wheat cent does not feature a mint mark, indicating that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The large date variety of the 1934 wheat cent is also noteworthy, as it was part of a series where the mint decided to use a larger number for the date compared to other years in the 1930s. While the 1934 Lincoln wheat cent was produced in large quantities, it is still a significant coin in today's market, especially for those focusing on key dates and varieties within the Lincoln series. As with most coins, the value of a 1934 wheat cent in circulated dirty condition is lower compared to examples in better grades. However, even in poor condition, it still holds some value. In circulated dirty condition, the 1934 wheat cent can range from $58,000 depending on its wear and the extent of damage or corrosion. However, as the coin's grade increases, so does its value. For example, in a fine or very fine condition, the coin's value could rise to between $63,000. At the higher end, an extremely fine or higher example could fetch anywhere from $69,000 or more. The market for the 1934 Lincoln wheat cent is also influenced by the popularity of the Lincoln cent series. Many collectors of this series focus on acquiring specific years, such as the 1934, due to its place in the timeline of American coinage during the Depression era. As a result, high-grade specimens of the 1934 wheat cent can command premium prices, even if they are in less than perfect condition. As with all Lincoln wheat cents, the 1934 coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the two wheat stalks on the reverse. The design represents the agricultural and industrial backbone of the United States, and its connection to Lincoln makes it even more special for many collectors. The large date variety of the 1934 coin stands out for its size, which gives it a slightly different look compared to other years in the series. The 1934 Lincoln wheat cent remains popular with collectors because it represents a pivotal moment in American history. Coins from the Great Depression are especially appealing to those who are interested in the social and economic impacts of the era. For many, the 1934 coin is a tangible connection to the hardships of the 1930s and the resilience of the American people during this challenging time. In the case of the 1934 wheat cent, the most common error type is the doubled die, where the date or design appears to have been struck twice. These varieties are especially prized by collectors, as they offer a glimpse into the process of coin production and are rarer than standard coins. Additionally, some collectors may focus on coins with unique toning, or those that show unusual wear patterns. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is a significant coin in American history. By the time it was minted, the United States had just emerged from the trials of the Great Depression and was in the middle of World War II. The U.S. government had transitioned to wartime production, which had an impact on the minting of coins. The Lincoln wheat penny, in particular, is famous for being struck during a time when resources were limited, and the need for coins to circulate quickly was paramount. The 1944 wheat penny is known for its use of steel in the production of coins during the war. However, by 1944, the U.S. Treasury had shifted back to using copper for penny production, a necessary move as steel was needed for the war effort. The use of copper gave the 1944 Lincoln penny its signature look, with a bright reddish-brown hue that collectors cherish. The D mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, which is known for producing a large number of coins during the wartime years. The mintage of the 1944 penny with a D mint mark was a remarkable 430 million coins. Despite the high mintage, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark still holds significant value today, particularly in better grades and when it's in circulated fine condition. In today's auction market, The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark and circulated fine condition can sell for anywhere between $25,000, depending on the demand from collectors and the overall condition of the coin. Coins with notable imperfections or wear will generally fetch lower prices, but those in fine condition, with clear details on Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks, can fetch much higher bids. A coin that has been well preserved, especially one in a higher grade condition, might fetch several $100s at auction. The 1944 Lincoln penny stands out because of its historical importance and how it represents the resilience of the American people during wartime. It's a coin that has withstood the test of time and is one of the most recognizable coins in the series. The design of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is credited to Victor David Brenner, the artist behind the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The obverse features a profile of President Lincoln looking to the right, with the words, "In God We Trust" inscribed above, and the year 1944 inscribed below. On the reverse side, you'll find two wheat ears flanking the inscription E pluribus unum and the coin's denomination, 1 cent. The D mint mark is located to the right of the date, just beneath Lincoln's shoulder. For collectors, this small letter holds great significance, as it indicates the coin's origin from the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's primary production facilities. While there are no significant errors associated with the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny that would make it exceedingly rare or valuable, collectors do pay attention to variations in the mint marks and the coin's condition. The 1944 D penny could be found in a variety of grades, with those in higher condition being more valuable. Additionally, double-die, obverse errors, while more common in earlier years, were occasionally spotted, which can make these particular coins highly desirable to collectors. Collectors have long been fascinated by the Lincoln wheat penny series, and the 1944 coin is no exception. What makes the 1944 D penny stand out among its peers is the unique historical context behind it. It represents a turning point in both American history and coinage production. The fact that it was struck during World War II, just as copper was coming back into use, adds a layer of depth to its appeal. Over the years, the 1944 D penny has continued to be one of the most popular coins for beginning collectors. Due to its relatively low price in lower grades and its historical importance, it serves as a perfect entry point for collectors looking to begin their journey with coins from the Lincoln series. Next up, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny marks an important year in the history of U.S. coinage. It was struck right after the end of World War II, a time of reconstruction and recovery. The U.S. economy was transitioning from wartime production to peacetime production, and the country was experiencing rapid growth. Many changes took place, not only in the economy but also in the numismatic world. By 1946, the U.S. Mint was back to producing pennies in the same copper material that had been used for many decades before the war. However, despite the return to copper, the U.S. Mint was still adjusting to the post-war environment. The 1946 penny is most notable for the large date variety, which makes it particularly appealing to collectors who specialize in the series. The absence of a mint mark on this particular coin means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary facility for striking pennies at the time. With an enormous mintage of over 1 billion coins, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was one of the most produced pennies of its era. However, what sets the 1946 large date without a mint mark apart is its rarity in higher grade conditions and the fact that it often features some unique characteristics, such as color-changed or dirty conditions, which can affect the price. In today's market, the 1946 large date penny without a mint mark in dirty or color-changed condition typically falls within the $15,000 range. However, depending on the degree of wear, discoloration, and overall condition, it can fetch more in some instances, especially if collectors are particularly interested in certain aesthetic features. For example, coins that exhibit a dramatic color change, perhaps due to exposure to certain chemicals or environmental conditions, can sometimes be worth more, as collectors who specialize in toned coins may find these coins appealing. It's essential for collectors to remember that while these pennies might not be the rarest of the rare, they hold a special charm, especially for those interested in post-war U.S. coinage. Like the other Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1946 coin has the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The details of the portrait will be less clear in lower grade or dirty condition coins, but you should still see Lincoln's distinct facial features and signature beard. The key feature of the 1946 large date penny is the prominent size of the digits 1946. This characteristic gives the coin its name, as the large date was deliberately used during minting to make the year more readable. Coins with smaller dates are less common, and this discrepancy can add some intrigue among collectors. While there are no significant minting errors related to the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny that significantly affect its value, wear and tear can result in some interesting quirks. For example, color-changing or dirty condition coins can carry a unique appearance, with some displaying streaks of green, brown, or even blue hues, which may intrigue certain buyers. These color changes often come about from the coin being exposed to various environmental factors, such as being buried or stored improperly. Another notable aspect is the large date version of the coin, which makes it distinct from other pennies minted that year. Even though the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is not one of the rarest coins from the series, it continues to draw significant interest from collectors. For collectors who specialize in post-war coins, or those focused specifically on the Lincoln series, this particular coin is a must-have. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat 1 cent with a D mint mark. Now, when we think of rare and valuable coins, we often imagine pristine examples, but today we're talking about a coin that, despite its dirty condition, has some significant market value. Let's explore why this coin, in such a state, is still attracting collectors and what makes it so valuable. To start, let's rewind the clock. The Lincoln wheat cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. This series, which ran until 1958, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors due to its iconic design. The 1952 Lincoln wheat cent is part of the later years of this series and is notable for a number of reasons, even though it's not as widely recognized as some other key dates. In 1952, the United States was recovering from the challenges of World War II and experiencing a period of economic growth and technological innovation. The coin itself features the classic obverse design of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, we see the famous wheat ears, an enduring symbol of the nation's agricultural roots, designed by Frank Gasparo. The 1952 Lincoln wheat cent, specifically with a D mint mark, was struck in Denver, where the U.S. Mint produced many coins to meet the needs of an expanding economy. The mintage of this coin was substantial, but like many coins from this era, it wasn't necessarily viewed as a collector's item back then. Fast forward to today, and its value has surged for a variety of reasons. Now, let's talk numbers. In total, over 440,001,952 Lincoln cents were minted across all U.S. Mint locations. The Denver Mint produced more than 160 million of these coins. So, in terms of mintage, the 1952 D Lincoln cent is not exceptionally rare. However, its value has increased in recent years due to factors like condition, market demand, and the increasing interest in collecting coins from the Lincoln wheat cent series. Coins that are considered common, in terms of mintage, can still be highly valuable if they possess certain qualities, such as being in good condition, having unique characteristics, or featuring errors. In fact, even a dirty or worn coin can have surprising value, as condition is not the only factor in determining its worth. The design of the 1952 Lincoln wheat cent is one of the most iconic in U.S. history. On the obverse, we see a highly detailed portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it was the first time that a U.S. coin featured a portrait of a real president, an innovative decision that resonated deeply with the American public. So, how much is this 1952 D Lincoln wheat cent worth in today's market, especially with its dirty condition? The truth is that its value can vary widely depending on the level of dirt and wear it has accumulated, but even in dirty or well-worn condition, it can fetch anywhere between $38,000 on average in today's auction market. However, the value of a coin like this can see a significant increase if it's graded by a professional service, and if the collector market has a particular interest in it at the time of sale. Additionally, there's always the possibility of the coin having unique characteristics that could make it more desirable, like an error or a rare die variety. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for these hidden gems. Now, it's important to mention that many collectors are drawn to the idea of error coins, coins that have been struck incorrectly or with some kind of imperfection. While the 1952 D Lincoln cent isn't known for any major errors, its overall rarity, combined with the ever-growing interest in Lincoln wheat cents, means that this coin could be part of a much larger collection in the future. If this coin were to have some kind of die error or another unique characteristic, its value could skyrocket. Collectors of Lincoln wheat cents tend to be passionate about completing sets, and the 1952 D is an important part of the series. It represents the final years of this iconic design, and it could easily be a key piece in someone's collection. As with any coin, the value lies not only in the coin itself, but in the story it tells and the connection it has to those who seek it out. So, to wrap up, the 1952 D Lincoln wheat cent in dirty condition may not be the most glamorous or pristine example of a coin, but it still holds a lot of historical and collector value. With its fascinating design, association with Abraham Lincoln, and its place in the broader narrative of U.S. coinage, it's no surprise that collectors are keeping an eye on this one. It's a perfect example of how even a less-than-perfect coin can have a significant place in a collections. Next up, we have the 1950 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, with a large date and an S mint mark. This coin is quite an interesting one, and it certainly has collectors buzzing, especially because of its red-colored, dirty condition. While that might sound a little strange at first, don't be fooled. This coin has some serious value, and we'll explain exactly why. The 1950 Lincoln wheat cent was struck in the aftermath of World War II, during a time when the U.S. economy was bouncing back and inflation was a growing concern. In the year 1950, the United States was transitioning from a wartime economy to one focused on production and consumer spending. The coin itself features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, but it's also part of an era in which people began to appreciate the numismatic value of coins. The S mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck in the San Francisco Mint, which produced a relatively small number of these coins compared to the other U.S. mint locations. The 1950 S Lincoln wheat cent is one of the more sought-after years for collectors, particularly the large date variety. But what makes this particular coin so interesting is its condition. A red-colored, dirty look that gives it an added level of intrigue. The mintage of the 1950 Lincoln wheat cent was substantial, with over 100 million coins produced across various mint locations. However, the number struck at the San Francisco Mint was lower than those at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. This makes the 1950 S somewhat less common and more desirable for collectors who specialize in mint marks and rarities. Just like the 1952 coin we discussed earlier, the 1950 S Lincoln wheat cent features the iconic design by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, we see Lincoln's bust facing right, with the words Liberty and the date 1950 prominently displayed. On the reverse, we find the two stalks of wheat, which frame the coin's denomination, 1 cent. This timeless design symbolizes the strength and unity of the United States. The large date variety of this coin is particularly important because the large number 1950 makes it visually distinct from the smaller date version of the same year. Collectors often seek out these varieties as they can be quite rare, especially in certain conditions. So, what about the value of the 1950 S Lincoln wheat cent in its red-colored, dirty condition? While its value might not be as high as a perfect coin, it can still command a respectable price. In auction markets today, you might see a 1950 S Lincoln cent in red, dirty condition fetch anywhere from $66,000 depending on the level of dirt, wear, and overall market demand at the time. Coins like this can gain value due to the mint mark rarity, the unique characteristics of the large date variety, and the ever-growing collector interest in the Lincoln wheat cent series. These factors can combine to give the 1950 S coin a strong market presence. As with the 1952 D coin, error coins are a big draw for collectors. While the 1950s Lincoln cent doesn't have any specific errors tied to it, the condition and the color change can make it an interesting piece for those looking for coins with unique features. The red-colored, dirty look of this coin might even be considered an artificial toning, a process where a coin changes color due to environmental factors or chemical treatments. Collectors who specialize in such toning might find this coin particularly appealing. In conclusion, the 1950s Lincoln wheat cent with a large date in red-colored, dirty condition is another example of a coin with significant value despite its appearance. With its rarity, historical context, and collector demand, it remains an exciting addition to any collection. It's proof that a coin doesn't need to be flawless to be valuable. Sometimes it's the unique characteristics that make it so special. That's it for today's video. I hope you found it informative. Next up is a 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. While this particular coin may look like it's seen better days, don't let its scratches and damage fool you. This coin holds significant value, especially when it's in the right hands and the right market. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the iconic series that ran from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner. The wheat penny has remained a key piece in American numismatic history, celebrated not only for its design, but also for the historical context it reflects. By 1945, the United States had just emerged from World War II, a pivotal moment in world history that profoundly influenced American society, politics, and economics. The coin was produced at a time when the U.S. economy was transitioning into the post-war era. With the war ending in 1945, the country began shifting its focus to domestic production and innovation. These pennies were a small part of the mass production that helped fuel the economy during this transitional period. The design of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny features the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This design has become one of the most iconic in U.S. coinage, featuring a left-facing portrait of the 16th President of the United States. Beneath Lincoln's bust is the word Liberty, with the year 1945 to the right and the motto, "In God We Trust" above. The reverse features 2 ears of wheat encircling the words E pluribus unum and 1 cent, representing the prosperity of the country. While the design is simple, it conveys both strength and unity. The wheat ears, in particular, symbolize the country's agricultural roots, an essential aspect of the American economy at the time. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is where the majority of these pennies were struck. The mintage for the 1945 penny was massive, with over 1 billion coins produced, making it common in circulation during the years following its release. However, this coin's true value lies in its condition, or, in the case of today's featured coin, its lack of pristine condition. The value of the 1945 penny, in its worn or damaged state, hinges on factors like rarity, demand, and the specifics of the auction market at the time of sale. Even in scratched and damaged condition, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny can command anywhere from $92,000 in an auction, depending on its overall wear and the collector's interest at the time. But if it were in better condition, its value could easily reach over $100,000 or more. For collectors, the challenge lies in finding these coins in good enough condition to warrant serious bidding. Coins that are too damaged or worn may not hold much interest outside of casual collectors. Despite the damage, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny can still have substantial value in the collector market, especially if it features any errors or anomalies. Though there are no major errors associated with the 1945 penny, some variants such as the 1945D and the 1945S are more desirable due to their lower mintage numbers. However, even coins that are significantly worn can attract the interest of error collectors who specialize in rare or off-condition pieces. In fact, collector interest in these coins has increased over the years due to the historical significance of the series as well as the potential for finding rare or unique specimens within large mintage years. To sum up, while the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in damaged condition may seem like a coin with little value, Its place in American numismatic history and its connection to the post-war economy give it a special significance. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual observer, understanding the story behind this coin and recognizing its potential in the market can turn a seemingly ordinary penny into a valuable investment.